thanks to the team for making this happen. Going to a DMV office several years ago actually had an impact on whether or not I was going to run for elective office as governor of North Carolina. Because as I was sitting in a much more uncomfortable chair at a DMV office trying to get my driver's license renewed, and first waiting over an hour outdoors before I even got into the office, and then at least 45 to 50 minutes indoors before I finally got to a desk, I was sitting there watching other citizens of North Carolina and wondering, is this the best there is? And the answer was absolutely not. In fact, while I sat there, I thought of myself as someone in their mid-50s who said, you know what, very little's changed from when I first got my driver's license in Jamestown, North Carolina at the age of 16. And I thought that was inexcusable, because at that point in time, when you go to a Verizon office or an Apple office or even to the airport where you have kiosks and other technology, we seem to be living in not just the past decade, but a past century. And that's not the North Carolina that we want to show off to the rest of the nation, nor is that the North Carolina that our customers deserve. And so when I was sworn in as governor, the 74th governor, on January the 5th, and several months later, I gave a State of the State speech to our Senate and House members. One of the goals that I set forth in transportation to Secretary Tony Tata, and I've probably mentioned it at every single staff meeting since that point in time and put a lot of pressure on his team, is we've got to fix DMV and make it more customer service oriented. Now, the more we got into it, we realized you can't just do it overnight. I hired a guy and he hired a team which realized this has got to be a strategic approach. It's got to be based upon data, and it's got to be benchmarked against other customer service opportunities in other industries and other states. So what he's been doing during this period of time is literally he and his team have been going out and seeing where's it done best, where's it not working, and he first got a database. In which he says, how long are people actually waiting? And we had no database. It was just personal stories that we had out there. And that's not the way to run a good retail customer service operations, which this is it. This is a retail customer service operation. The only difference is the customer has no choice but to come here. And that's why it's even more of a reason why we need to fix this. And Tony, you and your team have come through with flying colors. And I know this is now the format. This is the introduction. We're going to be implementing this process for a while. But I'll tell you, to see this vision and to see this customer service orientation is a major step forward in the way we not only want to have it work in DMV, but the way we want it to work in all departments that deal with customers in North Carolina government. That's our goal. We promise to bring a customer service mentality to North Carolina government. And this is the beginning of that process. And so the next time I get my driver's license renewed, it won't feel like I was 16 years old again. And it doesn't with my bad knees as it is, and now I'll sit in a comfortable chair. I'll actually have someone come up to me and saying, how can we help you? How can we help you? Not the concept of, we're doing you a favor. That's not customer service. And what's so great about what's happening is the DMV team, the DMV employees have embraced this change, because a lot of them didn't like the old attitude and the old offices and the lack of almost basic industrial engineering that any retail operations goes through in order to serve customers. And so I want to thank all the DMV employees who were part of the old system and now also part of the new system for embracing this change. And I think their job is going to be made much easier, and it's going to be better for the customers that they're dealing with, which makes it a win-win situation for everyone. So when I spoke in front of the state legislature, I told the state legislature that we thought the lines were too long. We thought there was an endless bureaucracy and even turf and silos, which were unacceptable. And worst of all, we got a lot of feedback from customers that we weren't customer friendly. So Secretary Tata, along with 2 other goals I gave you, and he's already accomplished 2 of the 3 goals. It's quite amazing. He helped implement the mobility formula in just the first year with bipartisan support with the legislature. And Bill, we appreciate your leadership in that effort. It was very, very strong. And now the second goal is he's fixing DMV, and he's got a strategy and a process to do just that. And to have everyone involved, from the highway patrol to the customer service people behind the counter to the people who are looking for fraud on driver's license, the fraud units. This is going to also benefit the voter ID program. It's also going to benefit the unemployment offices, which now, because of this change, we're calling career centers, career opportunity centers, because we are now checking IDs in our career centers to make sure we're serving the right people and providing them the right help. And without a good DMV, we couldn't do this, and now we're doing it. We want DMV to be one of the most customer-friendly places, not just in government, but in the private and public sector, and this is the beginning of that process. Now, during the past year, DMV has consolidated services, as Tony said, to make it easier for customers and less expensive for taxpayers. We've extended the hours to serve more citizens. Again, this has been a process where we've slowly implemented it so we can measure the results. We didn't implement it all at one time. We're doing the right thing. We're measuring results. We're actually following data, which is very important. And to have over 40,000 customers already served by that is a great attribute to you and your team. And also, instead of coming to the DMV office, as was stated, at many of the events that might be in your great downtown here, or the mayor's downtown, or other downtowns, we'll bring the DMV to the customer. Isn't that amazing? We're bringing the DMV to them, and we're looking long-term now on how we can use new technology over the internet. As we speak, a new DMV portal is being developed, which they experimented with me on, so people have their own access to their own personal DMV account. And already we're looking at ATM-styled kiosk, could be located in malls and grocery stores so customers can take care of their DMV business without having to visit a DMV office at all. This is great thinking. It's strategic and it's great customer service. Another major complaint we've gotten is, why do I have to have cash or a check? I mean, who carries cash around and checks at these point in time? Not a lot of people anymore. Why can't I use my credit card? We've begun implementing that process of many of our services where you can now use a credit card, and it's working. And we're going to continue to expand those services. We already rolled out credit cards last year to assist with the tag and tax collection, and we're working on doing that with all driver's license offices during the next year or two. And also, today we're announcing that new North Carolina residents who hold a valid driver's license, let me tell you, this is a special announcement today. We're announcing that any new North Carolina residents who hold a valid driver's license from another state will not have to take the written test again to obtain the North Carolina license. Isn't that good news? I'm going to trust my other governors who give tests in other states on, they've taken a test, they know how to read the signs, our laws and rules aren't much different. That's going to help the customer service and decrease the line for North Carolina citizens who are waiting to get their first driver's license or waiting to get their driver's license renewal. So that's a major change we're making immediately at this point in time. So no longer will North Carolina's DMV be the poster child of bureaucratic indifference to the people who pay their salaries. Instead, the DMV is becoming the poster child for putting the people of North Carolina first as their customers. And we're going to continue to work on this. Again, with the building of this new building, this would have done completely different had that directive not been made. And any new buildings we're going to have, again, keep updating how we can make a better customer service team effort. And what's even more impressive about this is a team effort now. To have the highway patrol, to have the license, to have the fraud, everyone working together is going to be a much more effective operations. And this is one of the issues that myself and other cabinet members have been working on now for 14 or 15 months is basic operations and the execution of the laws that are passed in Raleigh. And Mayor, it's going to be great that one of the great test areas is your great city, and it's good to see you again. And we're going to continue to benchmark. This is only the beginning. Tony, right? This is only the beginning. We're going to continue to benchmark, and we're going to learn some other lessons, and we're going to steal other ideas. And I think people will start stealing our ideas in other states on how you can do it right. So this is not our mom and dad's DMV anymore. This is the next generation's DMV. Thanks to each one of you. God bless you. Thanks again to the team. We're going to go outside and take questions on some of the details of this. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the legislature's support on this, and we're going to be asking your support for some legislative changes. I'd like to thank our great chairman of the DOT board. You're doing a great job. Thanks for coming all the way back from Raleigh. You probably have to drive back and then come back home to Charlotte. And I also want to thank the men and women in black and gray. We really appreciate your fine work, and be safe out there, especially on those motorcycles downstairs. Colonel, thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you.